Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. Let's meet your hosts, Chris Angel and Michael Maher.
Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Referrals Podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Michael J. Maher, and our special guest, Toril Schoepfer. Hello, Michael and Toril.
What's up?
What's up?
Referral Nation!
Woo! Referral Nation. I love it.
All right.
That's really going to catch.
Referral Nation, we listened to you. You said, Mayor, you're always wearing black on the episodes. What's up with that? Well, first of all, it's slimming. So I like black, and I've got dark hair. So the black is, it accentuates and stuff. But today I broke out the coach's outfit, because it's not black, it's blue. And number two is because I have to run to a practice immediately following this podcast. So I'm going with the blue. We listen to you, Referral Nation. Thanks, peeps. You rock. We love you.
Funny.
So great
we love you.
I'm looking forward to this, Chris.
Yeah, when we're talking about giving back, here's one of the things I love about this conversation is I think a lot of times we can get really focused on business and growing, and sometimes we miss the whole thing that is life-giving, which is the whole giving back. I think sometimes we find purpose more when we give back to others, and I'm really excited to talk to Toril today about how she does that. But Toril, if it's okay with you, let me just throw out a couple tidbits about you so everybody gets to know you. And then, Michael, I'll throw it back to you for sort of setting the stage here. But Toril is out of Sumner, Washington. So if you guys have referrals for Toril, think of Sumner, Washington. She owns her own brokerage called the Toril Sells Houses team. She's been featured in Realtor Magazine's 30 Under 30 and Risk Media's Realtors on the Rise. She's been she is a Star Power star. And finally, she's donated, here's the big one, over $40,000 to charity in 2018 with her Give Back Big mission, which we're going to unfold and unpack today. So, Michael, set the stage on giving.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm very, very excited to have Toril on today. Toril is probably one of the coaching clients that I have had the longest. So we've established this phenomenal relationship, and what's interesting is in some relationships, what you see is what you get, right? You immediately, and then like that, you get it, right? But with Toril, there is this never ending depth to Toril. Like the more I know her, the more awesome she is, right? And we're talking, Toril, how long have we known each other?
We were just talking, I think it's like 12 years.
12 years, right? So 12 years, and she still gets more and more awesome every year, right? So it's one of those where the wisdom that she's going to be able to drop on us and share with us today is going to be off the charts. And she really, really is one of the leaders in the generosity generation. And I'm very, very excited about this Give Back campaign that she's launched and is running with. And I want to just give everybody a helicopter view of where we're going. And I have to say, before I even do that, first and foremost, I'm inspired today because of the 5-star reviews and the shares and the Facebook messages and all. I mean, it's like, sometimes you're doing this and you're like, you know what? I really hope I'm helping someone. And then somebody Facebook messages or emails, or Sherry sends over an email from podcast at referco.com or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm like super, people are listening. People are getting help. People are saying it's their favorite podcast because we go into actually how to do it, not just this philosophy and fluff and just like nonsensical talk. Right. So first and foremost, thank you, listeners, for listening in and watching if you're watching, because you inspire me, you inspire Chris, you inspire all of us. And thank you for sharing and also rating and reviewing. And so that kind of leads, and that is giving back, right, in a way. And we appreciate it. The helicopter level of this is that there are 3 principles to the generosity generation. Right? They're very easy to remember. They're very easy to hashtag. We use them in hashtags all the time. The first one is give first. So give first. And the principle is give massive value first. Martin Luther King said, I know you want to be first. You have a thirst to be first. You have a hunger to be first. That's okay. But be the first in moral excellence. Be the first in love. Be the first in generosity. And I will tell you, being first in generosity, that is not just a great thing to be in life. That is a great thing to be in business. Because when you are first in generosity, the next person is likely to reciprocate. Well, here's the thing though. If somebody else is first in generosity to you, you are now in a reactive position, right? You are now in the choice of reciprocity position, right? You either reciprocate or you don't. But being first in generosity is a great place to be. Be the first to give massive value. Give massive value first in every interaction, every communication, every experience, every interaction, right? And the second one is give thanks. Give thanks, right? Be appreciative. Be the appreciative receiver. When somebody reciprocates, don't just expect it, because listen, it's not granted. People don't always reciprocate, and they don't think about reciprocating. And we need to be appreciative receivers as well as being generous givers. And then what happens when we are generous, it reciprocates, especially in the form of referrals. We have a profitable business, which leads to a prosperous life. Well, then when in prosperity, we are in this position to do the third principle, which is give back. Give back. So we have three principles: give first, give thanks, give back. And the other thing that I want to reinforce here is you don't have to be prosperous to give first. You don't have to be prosperous to give back. Listen, give back now, right? Give first now. Be a generous giver right from the get-go. And then when the reciprocation happens, or things happen to you, or opportunities come to you, referrals happen, right? Give thanks. Be an appreciative giver. So today's episode is okay, there's the give back principle, and then there is somebody like putting the give back principle on steroids. And that's Toril Schoepfer White. Toril out of Washington is kicking butt with it. I mean, she's already given over $40,000 to charity this year with a goal of $75,000, right, Toril?
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing, right? So tell us about, I mean, first of all, what makes you think so big? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, first of all, you're also being accountable to the public, right? Which is a little scary, you know? So I think the first thing is what was your initial thoughts on this? You know, why start this? Why do this give back campaign?
Well, it's funny, Michael, because in your book, you talk about starting with the end in mind, and to write actually what you'd want to have on your gravestone, or what would be said, you know, at your funeral. Like, and that's, I'm going like super dark right now, but it's really
that's
like
not dark. That's light. Like, listen, we got to begin with the end in mind, right? What is your epitaph going to be, right? If you give Michael Maher an ounce of interest, he gave you a ton of love, right? So that's my epitaph, right? So it's like, we need to know what our epitaph is, what we want it to say. And most of the time we don't want it to say like Realtor of the Year 2012.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Toril sold a bunch of dirt. Like,
yeah, exactly. There's you know, there's a guy named Les Moore. It's like, now there's less of less more, and before there was more, or something like that. So anyway, so talk, how did the begin with the end in mind? How did the epitaph or the tombstone thought, right? How did that trigger into your give back campaign?
Well, that I knew that I could do something more, and that real estate would be the tool to do that. And so I've researched, read, followed others that are doing give backs. And I just knew in my heart that we were the team to do it. And I consider myself like an implementer. I'm very much, I see a system that works, a book that's amazing like yours, Michael, and I can implement it. Like, that's just my strength. But when others haven't done a lot of like in our industry, real estate, give back, it wasn't as easy to find a system that was in place. So we took some ideas and tweaked it to be our own for our launch this year for GiveBack.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So what was the biggest challenge when you were getting going with this GiveBack challenge, right? Or this GiveBack campaign? What were your hesitations? What were your fears, early on?
Well, one of my fears, and I had ramped up around this time last year, was to present it to my team, because we give back 10% of our net commissions on every sale, every sale that we close here at our office. And I was asking my team to contribute 5% of their income on behalf of our clients. And I was going to match the other 5%. So I knew that we were either going to be all in, or that we might lose people, because we were moving forward in this. And I was so excited, because they were all in, there wasn't a shadow of a doubt. They just knew we were going there. Our mission, one of our mission that we talk about every day at our office, is to help people make friends, have fun, make money, and give back. And we knew that we're striving in these things, and that we do charities, annually, we'll do drives. Right now we have a food drive.
That's right.
But we wanted to take it to that next level of, how do we tie it into our real estate sales, and then be able to give back on behalf of our clients. So it was actually they got to pick the charity, which is I think a lot of people want to give back, but they don't know how. And so we're like a funnel for that.
That's an awesome comment, because it's the truth. People do want to give, and they do want to give back. And I'll give you an example that we just heard is a lender out of Colorado. They heard through the rumor mill that somebody had broken in and stolen all these coats that had been donated. We're talking 1,000 some coats that had been, Colorado, right? It's they're probably going to be needed and used. So she took it upon herself to just we're going to replenish these coats. Mm-hmm. And she had never done anything like that before, but she started sharing it on Facebook and in her, talking to people, and they doubled the amount of coats that they had in the warehouse before. Right. And it's just so many people, she said, were oh my gosh, I've had these 5 coats in my closet for years. They don't fit anymore. And I'm so glad that you did this, because otherwise they'd still be in my closet. Now they can help someone. And the number one is just people want to give. They want to. And the beautiful thing is that we can be a conduit for that. Right. And it doesn't cost anything. In this case, this is costing you something. Right. And in her case, it didn't cost her anything except from time to funnel the coats. In this case, this is costing you 10% of the net profit, right?
Yep.
So kudos to you for doing that. So the team was all in right from the get-go, which surprises the heck out of me. You're always going to have one or two. Listen, we're in business to what?
We have a team of 16. It's not a small team.
Wow.
Yeah. So you didn't lose anybody on that? There was no
pushback. It was just let's do this. Yeah.
So maybe you hire based on values.
We do.
Right.
Absolutely.
So the right people are getting into the door, right? Which is
we're very protective of who comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how many of them are having regrets now though? They're dang, I didn't know that was going to be that much, right?
No, they we have a big check when you walk into our office, it's on our wall, and we're super excited.
That's awesome.
We just can't wait to get to 1 million. Let's go.
Yeah. Well,
Toril,
thinking big right there.
How did you guys decide as a team what charities to, what was the decision-making process? If I were a business person, I'm I love this idea. How do I decide? How do I choose? There's so many. What was the process you guys took?
Well, this is what's fun is we polled our tribe, right? We call our people that we know and love and trust our tribe, our friends, family, forever clients.
Yeah.
And so through Facebook, Michael has these brilliant ideas to hey, ask your people what they think, because it's on behalf of our tribe and our people. So I polled to see, hey, what local charities, we wanted to keep it local for our community, make a difference, and that are that are singing to your heart. And And so we took that and then we interviewed a bunch of them, and we wanted to make sure that at least 80% was going to the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to do the 5 different, like animals, education, health, homelessness, and children. So we had different categories. And I can tell you, like, because we do our drives and just being, you know, an entrepreneur and in a business, we get contacted every week or more to donate to charities. All of us do, like all of us that are independent contractors.
All of us that are in generosity generation, right? They're like, oh my God, you're in the generosity generation. I think you'll give, right?
Yes.
And the thing is we can say no, right? And
and we want to, like, I wanted to like give it all. Like I just was like, what do I do? Like, and so we created a budget for it in the past. And then this was a way for us to pick and have our clients pick on, you know, what they wanted within 5 of these categories. And we're interviewing for next year to see if we want to have the same 5 again, but it's too hard if you're donating to like a million different charities, because you're just all over the board, and it's not like, it's not a system, if you will, because you have to make it so your team can also implement it and be able to give back.
So good.
Yeah. We interviewed, they came into our office, to our huddles, and told us why we should give to their charity.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, how does that interview go? Like, what are the questions? What are you looking for as they're answering your questions? Like, how does that interview process go?
Well, like, are they local? Do they represent what we represent as a company to the community? Are they contributing? Are they in growth mode also? Yeah. Like, are they truly making a difference? So our favorite ones have been the ones that are really local, hyper local. We have Helping Hand House, which helps homelessness, and we're in the home business. Like, it's like single moms getting their kids off the streets. Like, that's a no brainer.
Right.
And they're just like 5 miles away. And then our Humane Society is only like 5 miles away, and they come to our board of advisors meeting. They are always giving us amazing ideas. Like, we were using the word donate a lot, and because we always think of donate, but when you donate something, you've gotten rid of it. Like, I've donated it, it's no longer part of my life. But they said, use the word contribute, because when you contribute, you're still really part of it. Yeah, so we changed everything from just donated to just contributed, because that you're not detaching from that. It's actually like, I'm still part of this mission and this legacy.
I love that. I lost your microphone, Michael.
Yeah. So it's like contribution is such a power. I mean, it's one of the things that we want in life, right? I mean, so there was so much that you dropped on that, Toril, that is like amazing for for business owners. One is the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire strategy, right? The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's like, if you don't know what to do in your business, right? You don't know what product to launch. You don't know what charity to donate to or contribute to. You don't know what kind of seminar to do or what kind of event to do, or even what kind of home buyer or home seller workshop or educational thing. Or if there's something you don't know, and honestly, it's probably everything. You probably don't know anything about your clients, because every time I've done this, I thought there would be some answers, and they were always different. So it's the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you have 3 lifelines. Oh my gosh, you mean there's a lifeline to the client in business too? The answer is yes, right? So one lifeline is you can go 50-50. So before you go to your database, to your community, to your ambassadors or whoever, is narrow the options down. Yes. I always share the story of the too many options problem, right? Which is, I was standing at a store one time, and I saw this lady who was looking at the protein bar section. And at this store, there were probably no less than 500 protein bar selections in front of her. And I go, Sherry, Max, watch this. She came into this store to buy a protein bar. She's going to walk away with none. That's my prediction. And Max is like 7 or 8 at the time. And he's like, no, she came in to buy a protein. That's what she came. I mean, she had no bag. She had no sack, no, what are those called?
Cart.
Cart, right? And so it's like, no, it's like, and she looked, and we got to the point of almost being awkward because we had to stand there for like 2 minutes to watch. And we're just kind of going like this. And then we're going like this. And it's like, we're, checking the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, she turned them over. She read the ingredients. She read the calories. She felt them. She weighed them, and then she walked out without a protein bar, right? Too many choices. So when we do this, we want to narrow it down to 50-50. What are 2 options or 3 options? And that, like Toril did, right? She narrowed it down to cure homelessness, kids, and pets. That's awesome, right? Home, kids, pets, good stuff. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to phone a friend, right? So we phone our friends, and we're going to ask them, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about doing this charities. Who do you like within these 3 charities? And then the third part of this is poll the audience. And for many of us, our audience is Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, right? We can poll the audience. You can also do a poll the audience through like SurveyMonkey or something like that, where you can email everybody within your community or database and get their opinions on, on this thing. Now that is not just a strategy for this case for Toril. It's like Toril uses this in a lot of cases, and I use this almost monthly and sometimes even twice or 3 times a month to find out, give us some direction of what the demand from our community is going to be. So who wants to be a millionaire? If you want to be a millionaire, then narrow down the choices, phone a friend, and poll the audience. Right?
Let's get ready for referrals. In the red corner, we have the average agent working by advertising, learning on the fly, no systems, no profit, and no clients. And in the blue corner, we have what could be you, the profitable agent working by referral, loving life and loving their clients. Are you ready? Take your business to the next level and go to www.callwithcoach.com and set up your free referral coaching session. Go now, change your business forever. www.callwithcoach.com.
Toril, you also talked about board of advisors. We don't have time to talk about that right now, but that's something we need to give a shout out to people.
Mm-hmm. I just want to explore the system of it a little bit. So we've identified, we've got some charities we've picked, we've interviewed them, your team has bought in. So we've got the beginning ingredients of making this really work. But I would imagine is there some type of a system that keeps this whole thing moving? Or is it just every time a commission check comes in, things go out and that's kind of it? I feel like you're a systematic person, so there must be some other system in the background.
Oh yeah, no, it's for sure a system. So my marketing manager and I immediately, we developed our logo, the GiveBack logo, which is the open hand concept. Yep. And I've talked about the open hand concept, where if you have an open hand, whether it's money or contributions or your time or whatever it is, yes, things are going to flow in and out, right? But if you have a clenched hand, nothing can get in, but nothing can get out. So we have our GiveBack logo is very strategic with an open hand, and the listing team goes out on our appointments, and it's in our listing book, it's in our buyer book, it's on our website. Our website actually is the GiveBack. When you see it shows each house sale that we've done is our front page. So we've taken it from every aspect of our business and drilled down to figure out how do we share, because I'm one of our core values is humble, and I don't like to be bragging we sold 10 houses today, which is super cool. But it just kind of gets annoying in my mind. So I know it must get annoying in other people's minds, but I will shout from the rooftops that we donated $10,000 today to 5 local charities. That's amazing. So it was just a light bulb for me, where we just took everything that we're doing and we surrounded it with our GiveBack, because that's who we are.
Wow.
And people need to know that, right? I mean, you've always had the giving nature, but it hasn't been necessarily public or out there or whatever. And it's one of those where it's you're not doing this for business. You're doing this to incentivize other businesses and also to incentivize, and let your clientele know, hey, listen, I'm a leader in the generosity generation, and guess what? You can lead too, and you can help, right? So I love that. So what have been, so if another business was looking to install something like this, what are maybe the first 2 or 3 steps that they should do, right?
Get your team on board and pull your audience to figure out the charities. And sometimes, like, I got ideas, Scott Pinella and Anthony Markellas, I think is how you say his name, from California. They helped inspire this GiveBack because they both do GiveBack programs that are similar. And so I was able to take their vision of what they're doing and then tweak it to be our own. And so connect with a coach or someone that's doing the same, and find what sings to your heart, right? Because you're not going to do it if it doesn't matter to you. And that's what I realized is, for a long time, I didn't know what to give to, because I didn't have as much drama in my life. Or, like, sometimes drama causes like a huge reason to do something. Yeah. But not that, you know what I mean by that? So find something that sings to your heart, and then you're able to, and so these 5 areas really sing to my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, through our community, we can like literally change like Sumner and like surrounding areas through our tribe. And it was who I was. So it was, I don't even know if I answered the question right, but
you did. Well, I think first of all is giving back a part of your values, right? And for you, giving back is a part of your values. If you're doing it because it's the end thing, or because you're doing it for business or whatever, it's going to fall short, right? Mm-hmm. Your heart has to be in the right place. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be money to charity. I think that's a big thing is, one year we did a bike. So for every closing, there was a bike, right? And that year we did 187 transactions. So for Christmas, we had, and honestly, we didn't close. We had 175 bikes, I believe, for Christmas that year, right? And the picture of it is awesome, right? So it's 175 of these red bikes, different sizes. And so they were given to an organization who knew the kids and who knew, who would like a bike, right? And my name's Mike, so it made a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we even had some trikes to go with the whole likes. And by the way, if you haven't liked our podcast yet, please like it out there. Nice. And when it comes down to it, we're all alike, right? Oh, so, here's the thing is it's one of those where it's like, it doesn't have to be, 10% of the commission. 10% is a great number, but it can be a coat. It can be it can be a thing, or it can be a contribution, right? So what have been some of the reactions you've gotten from your database or from strangers in your community?
Well, and it's a reputation, right? A legacy. And so, back to that start with the end in mind, Toril Sells Houses we've been doing this 22 years around here, and my name being so unique, tagged to Toril Sells Houses, our company name, where it's not just, you're Toril Sells Houses. It's, so cool that you guys launched this GiveBack program. I heard about it at our church, and I just think it's super cool. And by the way, I have, my daughter that needs to buy a house, and we've had people like contact us, and the ultimate goal is that we're just giving back, but it's the whole open hand thing, right? It's gonna go out, but it's gonna come back in. We've had people contact us to choose our team because we are a GiveBack team. A lot of the population, they want to work with someone that's contributing, and I'm happy to do it.
I think one of the things I see, like when I'm out around teaching around the country, and people will say, like, look, a lot of times if you can just lead with who you are, right, rather than leading with that you're a real estate agent, right? Mm-hmm. Find your tribe, give them something relevant, like interact with them in an authentic way. And the objection that always comes up is, well, but if I'm not talking about real estate, how will they know I'm in real estate? How do I bring the conversation back around to real estate so that they give me a deal? So my question for you is, because you're a perfect person to ask this to, like, you're describing it actually, like here you are doing something not to receive, but you're doing something to give. And yet it results in people choosing you without you ever having to say like, oh, and don't forget that I'm a realtor, right? Like, why does that happen? Why is that phenomenon happen?
Well, I think that you're attracting like minds, and usually like when you're in the business, people know you're in the business. Like you don't have to like have like flashing lights around your head.
Right.
And if they love you as a person, they're going to believe in what you're doing anyway. So whatever industry you're in. Yeah. So as long as you're representing like what's singing from your heart and you get others involved, I think that they want to be part of your community and your tribe.
Love that.
Totally agree. And I think it's one of those where it's like there's success and people deem, people like Toril as successes, right? There's success with heart, right? And people are attracted to success with heart. Well, who's attracted to success with heart is one big thing here. And those who are generous are attracted to those who are generous. So guess what? The people she's working with are better. They're more generous, more appreciative, more loving people. Well, here's from Dave Ramsey's study, right? I read everything that guy puts out, and he needs to have me on his show. I'm just saying. But here's the thing: is his study found that entree leaders, right? Leaders in entrepreneur. Guess what? One of their characteristics are. It's generosity. So if you looked at $1 million neighborhood, you're going to find that a common theme to those successful people, not necessarily they're all successful, but most likely they are, is generosity. So you tend to attract great people, generous people, and successful people. When you have now listen, I'm just talking the strategy that happens on the back end. This is a nice byproduct to a give back campaign. Don't do the give back campaign because you're trying to do all this, right? But I will tell you, I got my first $1 million listing the same year I had my first give back campaign.
Wow.
Coincidence?
I don't think so.
Well, in some of the byproducts, like it's kind of fun because we have less commission objections, right? Because do you want to take it from the portion we're donating to the charity you chose? Like that's
that is so true. I would be that guy. Well,
right? Like that's
so that's away, which is like me giving some away.
Commission objections, and then we also have like a soft close at our listing appointment that says we're a give back company in case they don't know if they're new to our tribe, if you will, and that they can pick like out of these 5 charities, which one do you want to pick that the 10% net commission will go to of the commission that we're earning from you.
And they circle that?
Yeah, check the box and like, great, let's schedule photos and get your key box on. It's a soft
we have to so Toril, you're on the show. You're about to make a huge difference, right? You're making a huge difference anyway, but you're about to make a huge difference in this show. Referrals Podcast needs remember Howard Brenton would always say, that's a pearl.
That's a pearl. Right?
And then there's another guy who everything is like, that's a nugget, right? Mm-hmm. We need that's a something. Mm-hmm. What do you think it should be?
A gem, like for generosity?
Oh, come on!
That's a gem right there.
Are you kidding me with that? That is a
That's
gem.
a gem. That gem's a gem right there.
We could use that's a gem and that's a diamond at this. I mean, like we can totally. I love it. That's a gem. That's a gem right there.
Now you're
don't make me repeat that. That is a gem. That you are a gem, and that is a gem. That's a gift right there. So I love that, and so it's one of those where you are getting this communication from. So here's the thing: what are you going to do next year? Like, how are you going to top this? What are you going to add to the system or tweak to the system, or how do you make something so awesome even better? Because I know you're already thinking about that. I wouldn't ask that question normally because we could scare off guests with that. But what's next?
We have big plans to make it more about not just the number, because $40,000 can impact and save a lot of animals. It can send a lot of kids to camp. It can help a lot of homeless families. And to make it into what does that dollar mean? What does each dollar mean? And to really dive deep into our community and get like interviews, not necessarily like with the charities, to say, hey, gosh, this check that you sent on behalf of the Smiths, we were able to like house this family for 2 weeks. And then they were able to like, get back on their feet in a new job, and now they're running their own place. And, so the stories behind our mission and our story is, I think, going to be the power in moving us forward, because it's fun to like, say, hey, gosh, on your transaction, we gave this dollar amount, but dollars don't describe what sings to your heart.
It's the result. Right? It's the result. Who did we help? And I will tell you, Toril, that this is brilliant. And this is, if you look at how great charities raise the most funds, it is auction a lot of times, but it's not the CEO or a spokesperson for the charity that raises the most funds. It is when they bring up the families that have been helped and they share their story. And I'm getting chills just describing this, because I just went to one of these 2 weeks ago. It's a little bit like blah, 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 auction, hope I won, And then they brought up these three families that had a Habitat for Humanity home. And they talked about how their lives have changed over the last 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year. And I'm like, oh, I'm almost like, I'm emotional. One of them was a single mom with 2 kids, and like their kids were really struggling in school. They got the house, right? And now her daughter is a straight A student. Her son, who's younger, seems to have matured miraculously, right? They're always inviting people over to the house. Their social skills have improved. It was just like, here's all my money. It's just like, please, let's build another house. And I think that could be a really good December type of thing, is where you have have the people, you invite the people who gave and the community, and then you have your 4 or 5 charities up there, like not just talking about it, but like they get to see who is the recipient and the help. Have a homeless person speak about the help that they got, and I love that. I love how you're going down to, it's like, that was the power of the bikes for us, is that people had this concrete thing that they knew they were contributing to, what I mean? And it just, I love it. That is a gem, is don't dollarize it, personalize it. Yes. Right? Personalize it. Make that impact personal.
Tell the story. Yeah.
Tell the story.
Dude, I love you, Toril Schoepfer White. And I don't even care if Johnny knows it. So, it's just like, your heart is as big as your body plus, So it's one of those where there's people listening who are looking to differentiate their company, right? It's especially in real estate. What I love about realtors and real estate is that there's a billion of them, right? There's a million that are currently licensed, but there've been a billion probably, right? So there's competition on every corner. Well, and people think all realtors are the same, but they're not, but you don't know that. And then all of a sudden it's like generosity is the ultimate differentiator, right? I could go into why and all that, but generosity is if you want to be different by being better or being more of a giver, right? And you have given them the recipe, the system, the path for differentiating themselves with giving, powerful. And we're going into what people see as a market change. It's not going to be the old recession, right? It's going to be a balanced market, but people looking for that. Listen, giving is a really powerful differentiator. In many cases, people will choose you simply because they know that you're a giver, that you're giving to charity. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I love that. So good. I think like when I think about this sort of in wrapping up, I feel like people will they're inspired to give. They're inspired to do something bigger than the next transaction. They want to give back. And then there's some limiting belief or something that gets in their way. And so sort of imparting and ending in this episode, Toril, what gem would you give people from a mindset perspective who really want to give, but just have some limiting belief in their way? Like, where do we start? How do we break through that?
I think that if you're part of a team, co-create it. Like have a powwow with your team on what's been calling to their hearts, or what do they see a need in our community for. If you're part of a big brokerage, maybe go to the brokers and be like, gosh, we could do something different. We could help our community, from all these house sales. I remember like when we used to sell warranties, we would get a percentage of that, and we would have that go to MDA. So you can start like where just something that you're getting from another sale like can go towards another. I think just come together with the people that you know, love, and trust that are supporting you daily, whether it's your lenders, your escrow, your attorneys, and chances are they want to do something too. And
so good.
Great minds can come up with amazing things. So I think it's just not up to us. Like I don't create, like I have some good ideas sometimes, but most times the reason we're implementing things is because someone else thought of it, like Michael, and I'm like, okay, I can do that, and I'm going to tweak it to be my own. So I think just find like minds, and then it will come to you. Like you'll figure it out, because we were meant to do more.
That's so good. It's so good. I love it. Those of you listening, here's a great added benefit to you guys. Toril and her team have put together an entire slide deck of their Give Back program that you guys can download at referralspodcast.com. I mean, I've scrolled through it. I've looked through it. It's incredible. It's highly detailed. It's super impressive. So that would be a great place to go to inspire your own thoughts around what you could do for a Give Back program as well. So that you can get that at referralspodcast.com. It's a free download. And Michael, Toril, I mean, this is incredible. Any last words of wisdom from either of you?
Yes. That's it. Just do it.
Yes,
right?
Do it.
It really is just do it. I think the biggest thing is what is Toril's modeling. And I would say, if you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, is follow Toril, right? Follow Toril. Go see what she's doing. Pay to shadow if she's doing something like that. Washington's a beautiful state, right? Mm-hmm. And it's one of those where just become her friend on Facebook if she'll have you. And just really, what we talked about today is the tip of the iceberg from what you're going to learn from Toril Schoepfer. And, this is about giving back, and we're talking about this, as the holidays are coming upon us, and giving back. What if Christmas was every day, right? And I think in a lot of ways with Toril, she makes it like Christmas every day in Sumter, Washington. It's a better place to live and work because of Toril, and that could be you in your community. You could make your place a nicer and better place to work and a better place to live. You can do it.
I love it. Toril, if people want to learn more about you, where can people find you in addition to Facebook? What's your website? Where else can people reach you?
So it's Toril Sells Houses, Toril, and then sellshouses.com.
Perfect.
And I'm on Facebook, Toril Schoepfer, and Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. I'm easy to find.
Awesome. Thanks, gang. It's a great episode. I love this conversation where we're talking about generosity and giving back. I think that's a huge differentiator, and just it's a good alignment with the soul. So thank you for a great episode. Toril, we actually get to talk to you in the next episode, where we're actually going to talk more about all the magic that you do in your business. So until then, Michael, Toril, thanks for your time. We'll see you in the next episode.